What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Hippo Supercoach, and today going to be going through my trades for this week. It's going to take a bit for me to change these. I'm very set on it, and I'm bringing in a pod, as you guys can tell from the title. So yeah, this is a guy that's burnt me in the past quite severely, but after reading a bit about him this year, his off-season work, hiring a new sprint coach to really work on his burst from stoppage, this guy might be a must-have and might be M1. So you probably know who I'm talking about. It's Matt Rowell. So he's the number one ranked player in the AFL after round 3. And basically he hired a sprint coach from like the stall gift or whatever. And he's also in a contract year. This is another big thing. He's at a contract at the end of the year. I mean, you can tell. You can 100% tell how hungry he is for the ball. I mean, anyone that watched the game, to be fair, he has played some easy opponents, but gee whiz, does he look good? I think the speed and the burst was his biggest problem last year. Obviously gone 137, 136 against two weak midfields, Melbourne and West Coast. I'm not doubting that. But look, Adelaide North, Richmond, I think they're pretty easy draw. Sydney and Brizzy will be tough, but then, yeah, opens up a bit after that. But the thing with Matt Rowell is I don't think they're ever going to have a situation where he gets tagged. I don't think he's taggable. I mean, maybe he is, but I think they go to Anderson over him. Anderson's way more outside than Rowell and taggable. So I think Rowell might be too much of a bull. Even if you put a body on him, he's just going to find a way to get those contested possessions, those handballs, the clearances. Yeah, and I think it's kind of like a Liberatore where you don't even bother tag them because they're just too inside. So we're going to bring him in. Very confident on that. What it does mean, though, is it means we can't get Ryan Marriage or Bailey Humphrey. So I'm a little bit disappointed about that. If I had to pick one, it'd be Marriage. And I'm a bit scared of fading him. But I'm going to bring in two rookies, provided Bice is named. So what we're going to have to do, we have to sacrifice Lindsay. And I know it's shit, but at the end of the day, what's his break even? His break even is 28. Whereas even if I was to trade someone like Camperelli, yes, admittingly, Lindsay's not a sub-risk, whatever. But minus 41 versus a 28 break even. So I'm going to keep Camperelli, and I don't have enough cash to do it if I trade out Camperelli. So we're going to trade Tom Stewart, provided he's not named. If he is named, we are probably going to go... Do we have enough to go... Let me just check if I have enough to go Horn Francis. Will that work? So this is my backup plan. What was I going to do again? Was it going to be Hasty? Let's see if we have enough for this. So we're going to obviously bring in Rowell. Whoops. Bit of live trading going on here. But this is my backup plan. Like I said, yeah, we are going to have enough for that quite comfortably. So let's see. I think we will. Break evens. Moraes. Yeah, we will. All right. But we don't have enough if we go... Yeah, like we could go a Henderson maybe, but minus 27 break even and he's not injured. I think that would be a bit silly. I'm going to bring in... So how do we do this? So we can't. Right. Because the position. This is the shit thing about not having any mid forwards in your mid. What do we do? Okay, so basically we can't trade Horn Francis. It's going to have to be Connor Rozee. Jeez, alright, that's not something I really want to do. But you know what, actually, I think let's just commit to Tom Stewart. Fuck him, even if he plays. He's got a 200 break even, so we're going to get him dirt cheap. If he starts pumping out good scores, we'll get him dirt cheap anyway, so fuck him. He's going down 58k this week, probably 50k. He'll score more than 68. So we won't even worry about this hypothetical, and we're just going to go straight to trading Tom Stewart out. We'll bring in Riley Bice for him. We're going to trade Lindsay out and grab Matt Rowell. And we're going to trade Hasty out and we're going to grab Moraes. So, a lot of cash gen coming in. So that's, at the end of the day, you're picking Marriage and Humphrey to make cash. There is an off chance they could be top 6, both of them. Probably more unlikely than likely, though. So, equally as good trades when you think about it, because you're bringing in cash gen. And these guys do have better break-evens. Yes, Marriage and Humphrey have better roles, job security, whatever. But, yeah, at this point, I'm very, very keen on bringing in Matt Rowell. And, yeah, like I said, trade out Tom Stewart. You're playing the numbers game. It's something I should have done last week anyway, but we won't make that same mistake this week. Last week, I had Sinclair in. Like I said, all week, I had Jack Sinclair, and it would have been nice to have that 160. But, yeah. And let's have a look at how the team structure looks now. Bring Davidson onto the field. Pretty comfortable fielding Max Hall in the best 22. It'd be nice if I could actually click the button. Moraes will come on for Nevitt. We'll try and loop where we can. If we can loop Nevitt we can't because Camporelli plays then. So we'll probably just back Moraes outscore Nevitt. I'm pretty keen to field Levi Ashcroft this week just because plays Richmond, like should score well as long as he avoids the vest. If he does get the vest, we'll have to sub like a I don't know, maybe like a trainer on for him or something. I'm not sure. I just hope he doesn't. And then yeah, so that's how the team's looking coming out of the buys. Riley Bice at D6 averaging 74, Connor O'Sullivan D5 averaging 71. I'm alright fielding them. 70s are respectable for rookies, so I'm not worried about that at all. And then you look at my midfield, what have we got? We got a 113, a 137, a 107, a 106, 101, 104, 97, and a 73. So very comfortable fielding all of them, obviously. Quite deep in that midfield now, which is nice. Probably don't need to touch that for a while. It's more about building up that back line. And like I said, happy to jump back on Tom Stewart once his price bottoms out fully. Might be able to get him for like 450k. You just don't know. They could even sub him off if he's not fully fit, which clearly he isn't fully fit right now. Even if they play him, they could sub him off to be precautious with him, because Melbourne, they should smack Melbourne, let's be real, Geelong, especially down there. And then yeah, and I was just thinking captain, vice captain. I think I might go Zorko into McRae this week. Obviously could bring in my new Ferrari, Matt Rowell, but I think Zorko into McRae, because I think Zorko is going to go nuts against Richmond. We saw what Sinclair did to him last week. Wait, did Sinclair play Richmond last week? Yeah, they did. Yeah. We saw what Sinclair did last week. Same role, basically. So I'm very keen on Zorko. And then McRae against Port. I mean, I don't expect him to cop any attention from Port. That'll be an interesting game, actually, that one. Port versus St Kilda. But yeah, McRae's been consistent all year over the first 3 games. So yeah, I think he's a pretty safe captain option. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing, I think. I'd be surprised if we get past the Zorko VC. Now, TDK is another one that I'm very tempted to vice captain. Darcy Cameron's conceded quite a few points to Rucks this year. So yeah, I think TDK goes nuts again this week. Another one to worry about is Pitternet coming back, apparently 1 week away. So scary times for TDK owners. Another sneaky VC, if you wanted to go with him, is Max Gawn, especially if someone like Reece Stanley's not named. I think Gawn could tear Sam De Koning apart. Obviously, probably a bit risky just because Gawn's, a bit out of form. But yeah, hoping Bailey Dale bounces back as well. So yeah, a little bit light on the defence at the moment, but I think I've corrected the trades enough. Like I said, I would have liked to get rid of Horn Francis, but just not in a position to do that. It's already risky enough getting rid of Tom Stewart. Not risky, but it's already annoying enough to have gone short to Stewart. No, sorry. Yeah, short to Stewart to now Rowell. And then I went Perryman to Dale or something like that. So, yeah, I hope we don't have to trade Dale. Yeah, so 3 boosts in 3 rounds is not ideal, obviously. 70k in the bank. Plan is to get Nick Dacos. That's pretty much my first upgrade plan. I'm not too keen on Lachie Neale. like, I can see why people are, but I'm steering clear. So Dacos, after probably round 7, will be when he fully bottoms out. He might get O'Connor in round 8. But then after that, like, should be okay. Maybe McGuinness here, Windhager here. Carlton, do they tag? No, probably not. And then McGuinness again. Yeah, so you're probably looking for Dacos. I mean, he probably gets 2 tags. 2 hard tags from that round 7 point onwards. Maybe 3. I think that's pretty good for Dacos. The games he doesn't get tagged, he's going to go nuts. So potentially getting for 550k, maybe even less. So plan around getting him, I think. That's what I'm doing anyway. He'll slot in nicely, probably for O'Driscoll once Hayden Young comes back. Let's be real. He's going to lose a lot of that mid-time. Someone like a Levi Ashcroft and O'Driscoll might be able to get you a Nick Dacos, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, that's my plan for that round 7, round 8, probably round 7 time. Next week, I don't know if we're going to be doing any trades. If we look at break-evens, and let's just look for the guys that have played 1. So Isaiah Dudley. Now, I probably wouldn't pick Dudley. He played well, but it was West Coast, and he's a small forward. So yes, he could make money. Yes, he's 99k, but job security, very shaky, I think. And yeah, I just probably wouldn't go there. Here's another one that's going to be on the bubble, Clay Hall. Not really sure what he did. He played in the first game, did he? He played round 2 and scored 88, but then didn't play the next game. Jeez, so he got dropped. That's pretty stiff. Harry Boyd, Luke Trainer. Oh, Travalia. That's another one we might have to bring in. Scored 83. 172k. So how do you fit him in? Good question. Oh, if Levi Ashcroft has another bad game, I'd probably just trade him for Travalia. Or we look to move on someone like O'Driscoll. Probably unlikely we do that, but you just don't know what his role looks like in a couple of weeks. But yeah, probably wouldn't be dead by that point. If Nevitt has another low score, he can go. For Travalia, you're not going to bank too much cash though. Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be a bit of an annoying one if we have to bring him in. If he goes 80 again, you pretty much have to bring him in. Everyone was pretty keen on him early in the preseason, but dropped off in the end. But yeah, really happy with this mid now. I love seeing, I think most teams got that five primo mid structure. Seeing that 6th one is really nice, and obviously bringing in Matt Rowell. It's dangerous, no doubt about it. It could drop off. Obviously, we saw what he did last year. I'm not an idiot. I had him last year, and I think I paid top dollar. But you're paying $550. If you don't get him this week, he's probably gone. I think he's going to be $590, $600 next week. So going to be hard to pay that much for him. If you want him, it's probably now. He did go nuts against Adelaide last year too, and he is at home this week. So yeah, expect him to go quite big the next 3 games. And like I said, I think he'll avoid a tag. I don't want to jinx it, but I'm pretty sure they go to Anderson over him. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's it for the video, guys. I'm being potty. Everyone's going to be jumping on your Marich and your Humphreys. Fair enough. They both have really good upside, but I want to play a little bit differently. If I pick all the same players that everyone else picks, not going to get any advantage on the competition. So you got to be a bit unique in this game, and that's where I'm going to try and gain an advantage, I guess. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.